Welcome to the Full Moon Film Buff, episode 160. We're going to talk about Underworld Evolution from 2006. I rented this from Amazon Prime, and I have seen this before. As always, we start with the prominent crew and cast. You can always find links to a more complete credit list in the show notes. The film was directed by Len Wiseman. It was written by Danny McBride and Len Wiseman. The special effects design was by Patrick Tatopoulos. We first discussed all three of these individuals when we covered the first Underworld film. The cast includes Kate Beckinsale as Celine, Scott Speedman as Michael, Tony Curran as Marcus, Derek Jacobi as Lorenz Macaro / Alexander Corvinus, billed as Sir Derek Jacobi, Stephen McIntosh as Tanis, and Brian Steele as William. Again, I first discussed Kate Beckinsale and Scott Speedman when I covered the original film. Tony Curran's breakthrough role came in the BBC drama This Life in the mid-90s. He appeared in notable projects including The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, The Invisible Man, and Blade 2. One of his most acclaimed performances was portraying Vincent van Gogh in the Doctor Who episode Vincent and the Doctor. Other significant roles include the sci-fi series Defiance and appearing in the MCU productions including Thor, The Dark World, Daredevil Season 2, and Secret Invasion. Sir Derek Jacobi was a founding member of the Cambridge Footlights alongside future Monty Python members. Jacobi's breakthrough came with his portrayal of the stammering Roman Empire Claudius in the BBC series I, Claudius in 1976. His theatrical career has been impressive with notable Shakespearean roles including Hamlet, Richard II, and King Lear. He has been associated with the National Theatre and the Royal Shakespeare Company throughout his career. Other TV roles include Cadfael and Vicious. Prominent film roles include Gladiator, The King's Speech, Murder on the Orient Express. Jacobi was knighted in 1994 for his services to the theater. Stephen McIntosh launched his professional acting career in the late 80s. He gained early recognition portraying Winston Smith in the 1984 BBC adaptation of George Orwell's 1984. His breakthrough film role came in The Land Girls. He has become particularly known for his work on British television dramas, often playing troubled or morally ambiguous characters with depth and authenticity, including The Thick of It, Line of Duty, Inside Number 9, and Luther. Brian Steele stands 6 feet 7 inches tall. In 1987, he bought a one-way ticket to LA, Universal Studios theme park, took one look at him and knew exactly what to do with him. They hired him to perform as Frankenstein's monster. When Universal was searching for a man to don the suit for the television version of Harry and the Hendersons, they didn't look far. This led to a role on the sci-fi series Earth 2. Since The Relic in 1997, he's been glued, painted, Velcroed, snapped, and harnessed into bodysuits and masks, and made a name for himself as one of Hollywood's most capable suit performers. He breathed life into villains in the Underworld trilogy, Blade Trinity, both Hellboy films, multiple Predators, and Lady in the Water. In 2009, he got the opportunity to portray the T-600 in Terminator Salvation. Brian Steele has mastered a specialized branch of acting, combining physicality, endurance, and artistic expression. I recommend this film, but only if you've seen the original. Some sequels go out of their way to welcome newcomers. Not this film. If you missed the first movie, you will be lost. But if you enjoyed the first Underworld film and want to see the mythology expanded, then this is a decent supernatural action sequel that knows what it is. It suffers from some pacing issues and relies heavily on action over character development. It also delivers decent practical effects and continues the gothic vampire werewolf war with solid production values. So let's go over the synopsis. In 1202, an army led by 3 vampire elders, Marcus, Victor, and Amelia, arrive at a village full of werewolves for a huge battle. Victor and Amelia capture their target, Marcus's twin brother, William Corvinus, the first and most powerful werewolf. Against Marcus's wishes, Victor orders William to be forever imprisoned in a secret location far away. Quick recap of the first film. In the present day, Celine stashes Michael in a safe house. This film picks up immediately after the last one. She plans to prevent Craven from killing Marcus on her own, but Marcus awoke before Craven arrived and brutally kills him and his men. Marcus has really cool retractable bat wings. Lorenz Macaro, an elderly man operating out of the most gothic battleship ever, seriously. Wrought iron guard railings, huge chandeliers, hardwood floors with inlays on a battleship, sends a team to investigate the aftermath of the battle in the Lycan's lair. When Macaro examines Victor's corpse, he finds a metal disc inside Victor's chest, which matches a pendant originally worn by Sonia. Michael leaves the safe house to get some dinner, but it turns out that human food is now poisonous to him. His reaction draws unwanted attention from the local police. Celine shows up to save him. He feeds off of her. Using a knowledge of computers that he got from drinking Craven's blood, Marcus tracks Celine and Michael down and attacks them. He tries to take the other half of the pendant that Michael got off of Lucien's body last movie. They evade him and hide out in a warehouse where they make love. All of this somehow alerts Maccaro to their whereabouts. I don't understand how. He destroys all the evidence. Michael and Celine set out to discover why Marcus wants the pendant so bad. Celine recalls seeing it as a child, but she doesn't understand its significance. They travel to the hideout of the exiled vampire historian Andreas Tanis. He's set up a vampiric sex cult in an old monastery, as you do. After our heroes deal with his werewolf guard dogs and vampire groupies, Tanis goes on quite the expository spree. Alexander Corvus was the first immortal. His son Marcus was bitten by a bat and changed into a vampire, while son William was bitten by a wolf and changed into a werewolf. The third son remained human and gave rise to a line of mortal descendants, including Michael, who became the first lycan-vampire hybrid. The first werewolves created by William were entirely feral and unable to return to human form. Due to William's destructiveness, Marcus approached Victor, then a dying mortal warlord, and offered to turn him and his army into vampires in exchange for tracking down, stopping William, and destroying his spawn. Victor did not kill the brothers because he was led to believe that doing so would result in the immediate extinction of all vampires and lycans. Tanis further reveals that Celine's mortal father was the architect who built William's prison, and that the pendant is the key to that prison. Victor killed Celine's family because they knew the prison's location. He made Celine a vampire with the prison's location hidden away safely in her blood. Tanis says Maccaro knows even more. After the pair leave, Marcus shows up and drinks Tanis's blood to learn their location, killing Tanis in the process. Celine and Michael learn Maccaro's true identity is the Alexander Corvinus. Alexander reveals that he has devoted his entire immortal life to keeping the vampire lycan war a secret and refuses to assist Celine in killing either of his sons. She lays every vampiric or lycanthropic killing at his feet, since he didn't stop his sons when he had the chance. Marcus shows up, fights Michael, and impales him. Marcus learns the location of William's prison by drinking Celine's blood. He mocks his father for refusing to help William, revealing that he intends to join with William now, and they're going to rule the world as the master of a race of vampire-lycan hybrids. He stabs his father and takes the pendant. Alexander knows that he must be stopped, but he also knows he can't hurt his sons. Alexander insists Celine drinks his blood, which will enhance her physical strength and healing abilities to a level equivalent to that of a hybrid. Afterwards, Alexander blows up his ship, killing himself. Celine takes Alexander's helicopter and leads his team to the prison to avenge Michael and confront and destroy Marcus, who has already freed William. In the ensuing battle, Michael, who was presumed to be dead and carried aboard the helicopter, awakens and joins the fight in his hybrid form, killing William by ripping his head off. Celine engages Marcus in hand-to-hand combat, killing him by pushing him into the rotor blades of the crashed helicopter. After the battle, Celine discovers that Alexander's blood grants her additional hybrid abilities, including being immune to the effects of sunlight, which is lethal to vampires. The creature effects in Evolution represent a slight improvement from the first film as CGI technology continues to improve. Paul Jones and Alex Gillis created more sophisticated werewolf transformations, particularly for the character of William, whose design is more bestial and primitive than the lycans we've seen before. Marcus's form combines vampire wings with enhanced physical capabilities achieved through a combination of practical prosthetics and digital enhancement. The transformation sequences are more fluid and less reliant on quick cuts, allowing audiences to appreciate the craftsmanship. There are a lot of transformations, and not all of them are of superb quality, but the major ones are. Moving on to the lore, Evolution expands on the mythology established in the first film. We expect that. We already knew vampires and werewolves shared a common ancestor in Alexander Corvinus, an immortal who survived a plague in the 5th century. His 3 sons represent the 3 bloodlines: Marcus, the first vampire; William, the first werewolf; and a 3rd son who remained human but carried the immortal gene. This origin story goes all in on the Gothic atmosphere. We learn that successive generations of werewolves and vampires lose potency but gain humanity and control, at least until the appearance of Michael's hybrid state. Celine has also powered up by drinking Alexander's immortal blood. We do get a hint of the common killing the alpha kills all the spawn trope. But we also get hints that this was a deliberate lie in order to keep subordinates in line, which is brilliant, thinking from the leaders. Now, the last episode, I went into the Chosen One narrative. Evolution does add a little wrinkle to that. Michael indeed shares some Chosen One traits in the original film. As the direct human descendant of Alexander's human son, only he has the right genetic code to become the first hybrid. But that's the extent of his Chosen One fit. There is no prophecy or destiny that he's supposed to fulfill. Evolution adds Chosen One traits to Selene retroactively. Her mortal family was connected to the greater conflict. She was turned into a vampire to lock the location of William's prison away in her blood. Again, there is no greater purpose associated with her creation. Finally, Selene drinking Alexander's immortal blood gives her additional powers reminiscent of a Chosen One, but those powers were more her being in the right place at the right time than her being chosen by prophecy. This is a great example of how parts of a bigger trope can be utilized without having to adopt the entire narrative structure. So let's talk about family, dysfunction, and betrayal. If the first Underworld film functions as a supernatural adaptation of Romeo and Juliet, then Underworld Evolution presents a dysfunctional family drama played out on an epic immortal scale. The sequel maintains the star-crossed lovers narrative, but adds something primal and devastating, a cycle of betrayal spanning centuries, where the sins of an ancient patriarch continue poisoning their descendants long after the original wounds were inflicted. At the heart of this dysfunction lies Alexander Corvinus, the immortal progenitor whose relationship with his sons, Marcus and William, mirrors the most toxic elements of traditional family dynamics. Alexander embodies the disappointed father archetype, forever trying to contain his destructive children while refusing to acknowledge his own role in their corruption. His parenting approach has been damage control rather than guidance, maintaining a centuries-long vigil not out of love, but out of a desperate need to prevent his family's darkness from consuming the world. The brothers, Marcus and William, begin their immortal existence in conflict with each other, their fundamental vampire and werewolf natures seemingly destined for eternal opposition. Yet their true enemy isn't each other, but their suffocating control of their father. Marcus's decision to team up with William and overthrow that veil of secrecy that their father has maintained for centuries represents a kind of supernatural family rebellion, albeit one with apocalyptic consequences. This alliance reveals the central irony. The secrecy that Alexander believed would protect humanity has instead created a powder keg of resentment and rage. By keeping his sons contained rather than addressing the root causes of their conflict, Alexander ensured their eventual reunion would be catastrophic. The brothers' partnership becomes a perverse form of family healing. They can only find unity in their shared desire to destroy everything their father has built. Michael Corvin's role in this family drama adds another layer of complexity. As a distant grandson of Alexander, he inherits the genetic legacy, making him capable of surviving both vampiric and lycanthropic infections, and the burden of a family conflict that predates his existence by, millennia actually. Michael gets dragged into this ancient feud through no choice of his own, becoming a hybrid who embodies the best of both bloodlines. His character mirrors the film's central theme, how family dysfunction perpetuates itself across generations. Michael's transformation is a metaphor for how children often inherit the unresolved conflicts of their ancestors. He becomes powerful due to his heritage, suggesting that integration rather than separation might have been the solution to the Corvinus family's problems all along. They just needed to have a talk. Michael and Selene's survival suggests it is possible to break these generational cycles. As characters who have been shaped by, but not defined by, the family trauma, they represent the potential for creating new, healthier forms of connection. Their relationship isn't built on the lies and betrayals that characterized previous generations, but on mutual support and honest communication. The film's supernatural elements amplify its very human themes. By extending family dysfunction across centuries and giving it world-ending consequences, Underworld Evolution exaggerates the real-world ways that unresolved family trauma perpetuates across generations. In doing so, it transforms a monster movie into a surprisingly sophisticated meditation on the price of keeping family secrets and the possibility of healing through truth-telling and genuine connection. So, if you like lycanthropes, like, share, and subscribe. Contribute your thoughts and additional observations in the comments below. Let me know what I missed or what you noticed. Next, I plan to discuss lycanthropy from 2006. Keep your eye on the moon, a silver bullet in the chamber, and we'll see you back next episode.